Hello everyone, welcome to another episode of Ryan on Gaming. Today's topic is something along the lines of, it's okay to have one video game console. It's okay to have a preference. It's okay to lean towards something, right? I mean, the whole big thing about, gaming and, the video game community is, it's the whole fanboy war thing, right? The whole console versus console, or PC versus consoles, or, Nintendo versus everything, or blah, 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 right? And then you'll often see people maybe in comment threads say, hey, you know what? I own everything, just like every real gamer should. We should all own everything, or, just in case, or blah, blah, blah. And, it just kind of, there's just kind of this big conspiracy and everything, man. And sometimes it's legitimately okay to have a preference. And that's what it really all comes down to. You're not being the, the one guy that assumes everybody can go out and buy every single system, or somebody who wants to buy every single system. And you don't have to be that guy that is a huge fanboy asshole. You can just be someone with a preference. And I think that's kind of the sweet spot. And what some people don't understand is that you can be that, you can own one thing. And the funny thing is, some people think they can't justify that, right? I mean, and it's so funny that, me, the PlayStation guy, is doing a video like this, trying to, justify, hey, I'm allowed to like PlayStation, but you see what you kind of see the point that I'm laying down, right? So, I think a lot of times it's I mean, ideally, it'd be great if we all owned everything. It'd be great if we had time to play every single thing, and it'd be great if we all had every single platform to buy every single game. But quite frankly, that's just not the truth. I mean, I primarily play PlayStation. It's the ecosystem I'm most invested in. We've all talked about this a billion times before. But the thing is, you guys also know, I do own everything else. I have an X1 sitting right there, a 360, a PS1, there's PS2s in there, there's a Wii over there. I have a capable computer, I try and own everything, and I do own everything, but guess what? I own everything. I still can't play every single damn game that comes out, and I never have the time to play every game that comes out. Hell, too many games come out on PS Vita, PS3, and PS4 to the point where I can't keep up with all those games. I have, a job, I have a social life, I feel like some people misinterpret the fact that it's man, if you can play everything, how do you find time to play everything? How do you have time to own everything and stuff? It's just, I would love to be that person that could play and own everything, but I honestly just legitimately can't. And that's the whole point of ecosystems, right? That's the whole point of, possibly being invested in the Xbox ecosystem, or PSN, or, you got a big, huge Steam library, and you got Steam friends, right? And you got all these, all your friends are PC gamers, and they all have rigs or everything. Sometimes you just don't legitimately, care to, or have the time to go out and, invest in another machine and get used to how that's all set up and everything, right? There's just legitimate reasons to why a person can, straight up own one specific platform and thoroughly enjoy it, and just thoroughly enjoy it. It's kind of like how, and this is, again, don't, whenever I use a metaphor, don't attack me on it or try to break down my metaphor, because I'm always just trying to get a main idea across, which is, I always tend to look at, smartphones, for example. Smartphones are another kind of, techie, nerdy place where a lot of people like to fight and be little assholes about, iOS versus Android or Windows and everything. And, phones are kind of a thing where, and some people do own multiple phones, but most people only own one phone, and it's kind of it kind of somewhat applies, in the same veins, right? I mean, iPhones have certain things that, that speak to certain people. Android phones have certain things that speak to other people. So it's you don't have to choose a side, but at the same time, you kind of do have to choose a side. You don't have to own two phones. You don't have to own two video game machines, Again, don't attack that metaphor. It's just to get a main idea across. Some people think it's a bad thing to, have a preference or something. It's not, man. It's just, and at the end of the day, it's weird that we even have conversations like this, because it's they're video game machines. They're video games, man. But, I mean, it is a shame that we have to kind of talk about it like that, because that's what this kind of, it's what the community's filled with, is just crazy assholes and people in comment threads. like I'll log into you know, I'll get on my computer every single day and scour IGN or Joystick or Kotaku or YouTube, and there's never a day where I don't see a comment where I'm just like, oh my god, like what the fuck is wrong with that dude? So yes, calm down, they're just video games, it's just technology, you can have a preference, you can prefer one thing over the other. Recently I've been noticing I've been getting a lot of messages and comments and stuff from a lot of younger people, a lot of voice messages on my PS4, like from a lot of like younger kids that are, you know, maybe like just getting into gaming or something, just buying, you know, consoles and everything, like just finally like kind of getting into the industry a little bit and everything. And you know, if I can give you guys if I can give you guys any sort of advice, it's just don't get influenced by the crazy assholes of the internet. You know, you're allowed to like one thing, you know, you're young, maybe you can only afford one thing. Just don't be like a little dickhead about it, like, oh, PlayStation's better than everything else, like you can't have an Xbox or blah blah blah. I mean, yeah, it's just, again, it's one of those videos where it kind of touches on the whole fanboy topic, but I mean, that's the one thing that I think a lot of people overlook, is like it's always put on a pedestal of like, oh, you should always own everything and you should always play games wherever they are, and that's totally true, but some people legitimately just don't have the time or money to even bother with all that, and that's, you know, that's totally justifiable. Anyway, that concludes this topic of Ryan on Gaming. If you have any topics at all for this video series, please let me know. Please give me some ideas. I got a list of ideas that I've been going through and I'm starting to burn them out, so please give me some ideas on what you'd like me to talk about, what you'd like my opinion about on gaming. It's Ryan on Gaming. I'm standing literally on top of it, and it's kind of like a little bit, you know, I feel like it's gonna break soon. I'm gonna fall. I've hit rock bottom. So that's about it. I'll see you all in my next video. Take care.